I don't know if it was the nostalgia or maybe the fact that I'm a dad now or possibly a combination of the two, but this movie wasn't nearly as bad as I thought it was going to be. Is it a cash grab? Maybe, but aren't all movies? Space Jam: A New Legacy is a sequel to the 1996 movie Space Jam, which, if you haven't seen it, saw Michael Jordan teaming up with the Looney Tunes to take on a group of aliens in a game of basketball in order to save the Looney Tunes from domination. That movie, according to my nostalgia, made sense because at that time, the Looney Tunes and Michael Jordan were at the top of their game when it came to pop culture and sports. And it was really cool to see the live action paired up with the hand-drawn animation a la Who Framed Roger Rabbit. With the new legacy, we now have LeBron James stepping into the limelight to take over for Michael. And let's just get this out of the way right off the top. LeBron James is not a good actor. There's a scene at the beginning of the movie with him and his family that ends with him saying the line, "That's my favorite." It's one of those lines that when you hear it, you cringe. Just a little bit. Because your brain knows that the line should have been delivered better, and it would have had it been delivered by a professional actor. Something that LeBron James and Michael Jordan just aren't. It's okay though, because as the movie goes on, you do sort of get used to it and you just accept his acting for what it is. And oddly enough, I can't really explain it. It just starts to feel like it fits with the movie. What I liked about this movie, much to my surprise, was the fact that the story is pretty fresh and not nearly as rehashed as I thought it was going to be. I absolutely thought we were just going to get a retread of the original storyline. Because it's been 25 years since we saw that movie, they probably could have gotten away with it. But no, someone went above and beyond and came up with a sort of original concept. I mean, the movie was written by like 18,000 people, at least from what I noticed in the opening credits. So this might be the one time that many people involved in writing a story actually paid off. A little bit. I mean, sure, it's ultimately about an NBA star having to play in a basketball game with the Looney Tunes characters. But how we get to that point is quite different from the original, and that was a pleasant surprise. This time, it's the humans that need help from the Looney Tunes. And I'm phrasing it that way so as to not spoil anything and keep it as vague as possible, because what happens in this movie was actually really fun to watch. I mean, at its core, it's a very familiar story about a father and a son that just can't seem to understand each other. Well, that and a rogue algorithm that's gotten its feelings hurt. Yes, you heard me right. And that algorithm is played by a scene-chewing Don Cheadle, who's probably having a little bit more fun than he should have with the role. And the side story that they give to the Looney Tunes specifically was actually quite entertaining, which led to a sequence that actually had me sitting up in my seat and leaning forward with the most ridiculous grin on my face. If you're familiar with Warner Brothers movies, you'll get a kick out of that sequence as well. It was really cool to see them leaning into their properties like that. The movie does have a little bit of a rocky start due to the, lack of acting talent and the introduction of the villain. That handful of opening scenes were very eye-rolly and had me wondering if this movie was actually for me. But if you can get through that setup, once Bugs Bunny shows up, it turns into a very fun movie that knows exactly how to tap into your inner child and will absolutely put a smile on your face. Unless you hate the Looney Tunes. But then you're probably not watching this movie anyway. It's the kind of nonsense that only the Looney Tunes can provide. And if you can just take it for what it is, then you're gonna have a good time with this movie. I'll give it a 7 out of 10. It's a zany little cartoon that will absolutely make you smile and laugh out loud that is unfortunately bookended by absolute mediocrity. And props to Tweety, man. He's always been my favorite Looney Tunes character, and he gets his time to shine here. Something that I always felt was a little lacking in the first movie. So what about you? Have you guys seen Space Jam: A New Legacy yet? If you have, let me know what you thought about it in the comments below, and I'll see you all in the next one.